Hello everyone, welcome to my module for teaching Memo. This module was a quiet one with no discussion going on, but that will end today. As I write this memo, we just received about 6 inches of snow. Dr. Laura is on another delay, as is Turo. We are experiencing a winter upstate of snow, rain, snow, and more rain. Mother Nature is confused, I think. I am a feeder of birds. You can see my porch on the title picture of this teaching memo. But it's a battle against the squirrels constantly. I have cardinals, lots of juncos, chickadees, doves, nuthatches, and woodpeckers. And it occasionally distracts me when I'm working because my table is facing my deck. Okay, a little housekeeping. This session you took a test on special ed assessment, which was a review of sessions 2 through 4. I heard a little bit of whining, but because people had to go back, we should forget about that stuff. Why do we have to go back and look at it again? Well, as you will see as you discover how people learn, that recycling the back and having a cyclical curriculum where you revisit topics you've had before makes those stick. So that's what we want to do, is make it stick. Again, many of you use 2-word answers for the fill-ins, which I advised against in my last teaching memo. If you design a fill-in-the-blank test, and you will be doing that in a couple of modules, you will see 2 words in parentheses next to the blank if the answer is more than 1 word, or it needs 2 words. Most of you are not using the quiz discussion board, which I understand because it happens every semester. I have a way of going in and seeing how long it took you to take your quiz, and many of you are just going through it and boom, and going back and doing it again. But that's okay. I tried to set up the quiz discussion board as a way to use summative assessment formatively. Many of people answered EAHCA for the first question. Wherever you got that, I don't know. You must have Googled 94-142, which was called the Education for All Handicapped Act, but that was changed in 1990. So it's been 19 years since it's been the EAHCA or EAHA. You can find the current name for it, the Special Ed Law, in Cohen and Spencer, Chapter 1. And I mentioned 94-142, which Cohen and Spencer doesn't mention, in my module tool presentation. 94-142 was the original law for the EAHA, or CA. There was one question that required you to make an inference, and there was really not enough information to choose between 2 answers. There was only 2 possible answers. If you got it wrong and can defend your answer, send me an email, and if you defend it correctly, I will give you credit. I've graded many DEJs. I was impressed with the depth of several of them and the conversational style of your writing. So what this tells me is that the grading the double entry journals, you took advantage of that. You looked at and you did it with sincerity, and you did it the way it was intended. But I can tell many of you didn't, and I can tell that the people that just graded the DEJs and then quickly made 5 posts, I can tell that you didn't really get into discussing what the quality of a double entry journal looked like. All you have to do is look at DEJs number 1 and DEJ number 2, and you can see that those are quality double entry journals, and that's what I expect. those of you that just annotated like 4 or 5 quotes and that weren't big ideas, well, you got downgraded on that. The most common errors were not reacting to the big ideas, which I mentioned in my RTI presentation and in my Module 3 teaching memo. I think I mentioned them in my first DEJ video. So remember, you need to show me that you understand the quote by the conversation you have. Strong opinions with evidence and deep connections. Several of you did not show me that when you reacted to the quote you put in the left-hand column. You made some connection, but it had nothing to do with what you cut and pasted in the left column. So make sure you react in a way that allows me to see that you understand. I would also like to remind everyone that I have an assessment Facebook page, and you're all welcome to like and receive updates from it for the rest of my life. I also want to remind you that I am available for office hours during the morning hours all week from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And you can join by clicking on the link that's in the written version of my teaching memo. Once you download the Zoom app or the Zoom program on your computer, the ID is 846-591-2567. If you plan on attending, make sure you text me first, because I don't log on unless I think there are going to be people that I'm meeting with. I used to log on and wait for an hour every Monday night and no one would come. So now a lot of you are confused about things, if you want face-to-face interaction with me, and I can go right on to the module and to the Canvas website, text me and we can do a Zoom meeting. As usual, you can always email me, text me, or message me. If you do text me, make sure you put your name, because I don't have your phone number in my contact list. So put your name at the beginning or the end of the message. Big ideas of Module 4, which was on observation. We did not have a discussion board on the observation process, but I added a detailed matching part to the test on special ed. Many of you will write lesson plans for your classroom or the EdTPA where you will use observation as your primary form of formative assessment. You need to know that there are formal ways of collecting data to inform your instruction. Just walking around and watching is not always an accurate approach. The last session was the most important. The session before was the most important of my course, because RTI is such a significant topic, and most teachers and schools do not have a good grasp of the technicalities, especially the progress monitoring part. My advice is to set aside an hour every night just to read and then work on your assignments. Turo recommends dedicating at least 6 to 9 hours per week for one online course. So say 6 hours, this is week 4. You should have 24 hours of interacting on Canvas. And I can go in and look, and I can see some of you have 2-3 hours, which is also reflected in the grade. I can look at the hours of participation or hours of involvement on Canvas and grades, and it correlates. You know, it's that correlation. I know most of you have work, you have families and other obligations. I suffered the same way working on 2 master's degrees and a doctorate while being a parent and a 10-hour-a-day school administrator. So I feel your pain, but that's why we have to sacrifice. It's not, graduate school is not a piece of cake. Just another reminder that we watch my assignment video where I explain what you need to do for Module 5, large-scale standardized tests.